Hello, guys. Welcome back to another live stream. So you are here with myself and AJ. AJ, looks like you got a new trim.
I did, yeah. I did get a haircut on
Look at this
Saturday.
guy.
It was a bit overdue, so I did need to get one.
You're making me look bad. Well, I'll just go quickly cut it myself, yeah, while you do some TA.
Yeah. Bodge job.
Yeah, exactly. So how have you been? How have you been over the weekend?
Yeah, good. I did open a trade on Saturday, which I did talk
Ooh.
about in Saturday's video as well. So that's been doing fairly well over the weekend, and I will talk about that today as well.
There we go. So, I mean, the whole point today, guys, just we want to make sure that we bring you through exactly what's going on this week. What are people pricing in? What's the kind of sentiment so that we can set ourselves up well? Obviously, on Wednesday, we have some massive news. So make sure that you stay tuned to find out exactly what those are. And you can probably see from my tabs already, I'm going to be talking a lot about Ethereum here. And then we're going to jump in to a lot of the TA and also looking at the DXY and why that might be potentially a big catalyst as to why crypto's not really doing too well at the moment. But we'll jump into that later. So just quickly, in traditional markets, guys, we're seeing dollar gains, futures slip as China clouds the outlook. Here's a market wrap. Treasuries holding kind of steady. European stocks are edging higher. It could be on the basis that in 2 days, so here we go. So in 1 day time, we're going to have a lot of information from the UK, Canada, also Eurozone and Germany, like economic sentiment. And then we're moving into inflation rate in the UK, GDP in the Euro area. And then we also have these FOMC minutes. These FOMC minutes are basically Federal Open Market Committee. There's basically the guys who go, or part of the people who say, hey, this is how much we should be squeezing or letting the economy run fly. So these are going to be the notes that came out in July to kind of give people an insight as to what exactly was said. Now, obviously, they can't release these minutes, ahead of time, because then you're going to know what the Fed are going to do. So they release them a month late or around a month just to kind of give us a little bit of a taste as to what the Fed are thinking.
Do you think we're going to see a movement in the market due to that?
I'm going to say well, I guess typically I would say yes. In the past couple of months, as inflation keeps going higher and higher, if you listen to what they said before, if they said, oh, actually, I think inflation is going to be pretty much on point, I'm pretty happy sticking to, let's say, 8.7 as like a forecast. If we then know that 2 weeks later the inflation number comes out and the inflation number's 9.1, then they're crazy. They don't know what they're talking about. So it's a very, a big lack of, should we say, faith and confidence in the Fed and the FOMC. But I think now, because inflation has started to come down, that kind of, I don't think this is going to affect us too much, because all they can do is either say, you know what, we've done a good job. We don't need to go too much higher, which is true because inflation came down. Or they can say, actually, the notes will say, we think that we're going to do more, which if they are going to do more, then inflation is going to come down even quicker. And that's kind of, only really going to be a good thing. So, yeah, I'd say, not too much movement, but there will be volatility, guys. Obviously, people are going to be trying to predict this left, right, and center. And the more people who try and predict, the more volatile and unpredictable the whole market gets. So keep that in mind. But the bottom line, S&P and NASDAQ trading lower, and that's pretty much off the back of just having a crazy rally. And then, I'm not really going to talk too much about bonds or anything like this. A little bit of news about China, but obviously, like I said, most people are kind of focusing on these bits of events that we have coming up here. And again, we can kind of see on here. But we're kind of looking at these July minutes coming out on Wednesday. I want to talk about Bitcoin now. And more specifically, something that Satoshi Stacker said. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. Very, very good content. Love to see it. And I just want to highlight, this gives us a little bit of faith because we're using really just another. It's not really another indicator, is it, AJ? It's just more like another point. If you're looking at mining data,
Yeah.
I guess you call it like just another bit of confluence.
Yeah, it's a bit of confluence, another point of, a point of view as well.
Yeah, exactly. So looking at everything kind of from the Bitcoin miners' point of view, so they obviously have faced a lot of difficulty. The amount of when we started off, I don't know when it was, but when like everyone swiftly moved out of China because they absolutely had to. It's obviously been banned like numerous times.
Yeah.
But then swiftly moving out of China into Kazakhstan, then everyone was trying to be adopted into Texas. So things have gone okay, but obviously the rewards for mining are getting lower and lower. But have a look at these metrics that already show some recovery, because you can kind of see when Bitcoin miners do better, that's typically better for the market. So it has been seen in some instances as a bit of an indication as to when we see a bottom. So the Puel multiple. This metrics looks at the daily issuance of new coins versus a moving average of issuance over the past year. And it's very popular for having marked previous bottoms. Well, Multiplier recently found a bottom as it exited the typical buy zone for the indicator. First bit of good news. You know what? You deserve a little like for that. Miner balances. When miners are struggling, they have to start selling off their Bitcoin, obviously, because they still have to pay their power bill, even if Bitcoin's price is falling. So this is where we see Bitcoin miner capitulation. You probably have heard this, where everyone says we're not really at a bottom until the miners have stopped capitulating. So while some miners are still selling, there have been a notable decrease in miner coins being sent to exchanges. Bring on the hodlers. This is what we like to see in the miners, because if the miners give up hope and the guys who are pretty much printing Bitcoin, if they don't want to do it anymore, then obviously there's going to be someone to step in, but there is some some issues. So typically these guys have been making so much money that they're like, okay, we still have faith, and that's very, very important. And then with the balances kind of falls in line with the miner revenue. A simple way to see the health of miners is through their revenue. Miner revenue has slowly started trending upwards since the crash in June and has recovered nearly 70% since the worst day of the year. So they're sending less to exchanges, they're making more money, which is obviously very good. And also we can then look at hash ribbons. So hash rate bottoms have been a major signal of previous Bitcoin bottoms. Hash ribbons are moving averages of hash rate that filter out noise. The shorter 30-day moving average has started moving sideways rather than down, showing potential for an incoming hash rate bottom, which is very nice. And then finally, we have stock prices. It's not unknown for entities that want crypto exposure without holding coins to invest in stocks of companies highly correlated to crypto prices, such as miners. You don't actually have to mine Bitcoin, but you can just invest in the miners themselves. Major mining stocks have plummeted over 100% in the last month, showing optimism for investors. So we're kind of seeing a bit of a tick to the upside. And I'm going to say, nice one. Here we go. Good man. Good man. It does give me some confidence. I know, AJ, you've been we've both been kind of speaking about how we might have already seen that bottom come in for Bitcoin at that 17,500 region.
Yeah. There is a possibility that 17,500 region was the bottom, but of course, there's still a possibility that we could come lower. We still have some technical indicators that are signaling to us if we do break towards the downside, we could see low. We could see these lower price targets that a lot of people are talking about. 12,000, 10,000. They're still sort of just hanging off the side of the table. But yeah, there's a possibility. There's so many indicators that's on-chain indicators as well that have signaled to us that we have already established that bottom at $17,500. One, for example, is the Bitcoin Pi cycle bottom indicator. That has told us that $17,500 was the bottom.
Should we just have a quick look, AJ, at some of the technicals on Bitcoin, and then afterwards we can jump into Ethereum? Just so we can kind of tie this in quite nicely, because you are right. I mean, I think if we look at the much, much larger time, well, I say much, not talking yearly, but on that kind of like weekly time frame, maybe monthly, there are some reasons to think we could still be in a bear market, and this is on the larger time frame a bit of a jump. But I don't know. I just feel like when we were last month, where everyone was worried I think a lot of that has gone away. US recession, that's not really so much of an issue anymore. Earnings is not really so much of an issue in traditional markets. Like the whole global economy slowdown hasn't really been too much of an issue either. I mean, I say, it still is, but I think a lot of the fear, and especially over the last month, we've just kind of continued through that, and we stopped at 17 and a half, and now we seem to be back up. I don't know. Drop a
Yeah.
comment, guys. Am I crazy? Let me know what
Yeah,
you think in the comments.
we are bullish, as of right now. We are getting higher highs, and we are getting those lower highs as well. So, we are in a nice uptrend, but this uptrend can very quickly lead to a downtrend and a flip in the direction that we are going. Because as you can see, we are still in this bearish flag, and this is what I mean by we still have those technical indicators that can indicate to us that if we do break towards the downside, we can come to these lows, around $12,000, $11,000, potentially even $10,000. As you can see back here, we did have this bearish flag here. We broke towards the downside. And, we came all the way down to 17. Well, we came down to 25,000 first, and then got another bearish flag, and then came all the way down to 17,500. This is what we could be seeing here again, talking about potentially coming lower. We do have this bearish flag here as well, which we are still respecting. We are still within this bearish flag. And if we do break towards the downside, which would be a break below around the $22,000 level, that could signal more lows for Bitcoin, potentially even breaking below that $17,500 level. So for the bullish case, to stay bullish, we don't want to break below this support level here. We want to break this resistance to invalidate this pattern. So this is what I'm looking at the larger time frame now. It is going to be a waiting game, a long waiting game, I do think, because in the shorter time, I do think a little bit more downside on the shorter time frames is something that is necessary before we can see any more movement towards the upside. But yeah, I do think we are going to be in this channel for a few weeks longer. And yeah, we'll see. And it's just a waiting game really to break above this and invalidate this.
So AJ,
yeah,
you wake up tomorrow, your Bitcoin's at 22,500. It's not quite. It's not on that. It's not 22,000. And especially, if let's say it's tomorrow. So it's literally like just directly under the candle you're at the moment. We're still in that. We're still in the, in the channel at 22,500. Are you scared, or are you just, ready to take action if we go further?
I'd only be scared if we break below it, because we can see that. I don't know why my screen keeps zooming in, but if we can see here, it has acted as support. So if we do come down, we can find support again at this level. But yeah, if we do break below it, then I will get scared, because that will be the confirmed break towards the downside. But if we can stay above it, then I'm happy, and I'm happy to continue saying that we are bullish, because we are bullish at the moment. On the shorter time frames, it's a little bit of a different story. It's looking a little bit more bearish on the shorter time frames, and this is what I mean by I do think we are a little bit more bearish in the shorter term than the longer term. And the longer term, I do think we can come quite bullishly out of this if we continue to hold these support levels. But in the shorter term, so looking at this 12-hour, we do have this rising wedge. I've been mentioning this for a while now, and we've also established a new resistance zone, which I will talk about briefly as well. But looking at this rising wedge here, you can see that we have still been respecting that over the course of the weekend as well, and it looks like we are going to come back down to this support level here after seeing a rejection at this white resistance level here. But I've also drawn, if you might have noticed, I've also drawn this resistance box in here as well. And what we are seeing, and what I think is happening, I might not be right here, but this is what I think is happening. I think that a lot of big whales or big holders are taking profits sort of between this $24,000 level and $25,000 level. I think a lot of people, a lot of big whales are taking profits here, because we're seeing these big candles towards the upside, and these big wicks towards the upside with these smaller candles, and this is quite bearish, and this is why we are getting these rejections from this resistance level, and we've been seeing it over the course of the weekend as well. We've seen these big wicks towards the upside, and then those rejection candles here. So I do think what is happening is that these bigger whales, these bigger holders are sort of lows here and taking their profits at this resistance level here. And yeah, we'll have to see what happens. If we do break towards the downside of this rising wedge, then most definitely we are going to see the lows back down at 21,000 as sort of that first take profit point. And then if we do break that, because of course this range between 21,000 approximately and $21,700 is a major resistance and support level. As you can see below it, we use it as very strong resistance, but when we're above it, we use it as nice strong support. So I do think this is going to be a very critical level, and it's going to take a lot to get below this level as well. So the $21,000 level is sort of that target if we do break towards the downside, but it is very strong support as well. So if we can hold this support and break above the resistance, then for me that's very bullish, and we can stop talking about that sort of $28,500 level, which I've been talking about for a while now. I mentioned $28,500 a very long time ago, and now what we're seeing is everyone else starting to talk about $28,500, and people on Twitter starting to talk about it, everyone on YouTube starting to talk about it, and now it's sort of I'm sort of getting to the realization that $28,500 might not happen anymore, because we've got so much fun about it going around now, and people are just getting overly excited for it. So what I do think is happening is a lot of big whales are taking profits at this resistance level. And if we do continue to see this, I think we are going to get squeezed right into the end of this. We'll squeeze right into the end of this rising wedge. If we do get squeezed all the way into it, I think we're going to see a pretty big pullback towards the downside. And again, if we do break the support, we will see a pretty substantial pullback back down to 21,000 as that first take profit point. We've got other indicators indicating that to me. We've got that bearish divergence, which is still in play. And we also have volume, which is also decreasing as well. So this is signaling to me that we are seeing a loss of steam in the bulls, especially on this 12-hour time frame. So we could see this break towards the downside. The 8-hour is literally signaling the exact same scenario. And the reason I do think we are seeing this pullback for Bitcoin as well, like I said, I do think whales are taking profits at this resistance level here, but also the DXY. We talk about the DXY a lot, Ben, don't we? And as of this morning, the DXY looks like it was going to break this resistance level. We are getting a bit of a rejection now, still testing the resistance here. But if we do break above this is incredibly bearish for the crypto market, traditional markets, and Bitcoin in general. I do think there is a possibility we could break above this level. There is also a possibility we could get a rejection from this level as well. And I would like to see the rejection happen, because, of course, that will be bullish. We can break resistance break that resistance on Bitcoin and within the rest of the crypto market. But if we do break above this, I do think that will confirm that we are going to see that break towards the downside on that Bitcoin chart. And there's two ways we can sort of look at this DXY. Now, we could get the break towards the upside. If we get the break towards the upside, then we could come back up to this target of around $109 approximately, which will take us back up to this high. And then, we could get a rejection. That's obviously going to be resistance. So we could get a rejection from that level. But what I would like to see if we were to break above this level is I would like to see a little bit, if I get rid of these trend lines here, get rid of this pen line here, sorry. So if we were to break towards the upside of this, I would like to see a lower high, and then we get that pullback towards the downside, because then what we are seeing here is we are now seeing a downtrend, a bigger downtrend for this DXY, and that will be incredibly bullish for the crypto market, because it means, as we know, as the DXY goes up, we do see crypto come down. As the DXY goes down, we do see crypto go up. So that's what I would like to see, breaking this daily green level here. That is what I would like to see. But of course, we could just get a rejection from this resistance here, come back down to this daily and break that. So I will keep you updated on this. We do want to get a rejection from this resistance. If we don't, then I think we are going to see that next leg down for Bitcoin out of this rising wedge pattern. Moving on to Ethereum, taking a look at Ethereum. Ethereum has got the exact same scenario going on. We've got this resistance level at the top, as you can see here. We have this resistance level, previous resistance, major resistance previously, and over the weekend we did get a rejection from this level. That lined up perfectly with the resistance of this rising wedge. So again, we do have this rising wedge on Ethereum like we do on Bitcoin, and it looks like we are going to come down and test this support level here. We can see that the volume is also decreasing as well, which is signaling to me that the bulls are running out of steam, and the bears might decide to take control. Now, if we do continue to see this pressure towards the downside and we do break this support level, we do have this next blue level of support here. It's been major resistance when we were below it, and it's also been major support when we were above it. So this is going to act as support as well. So I wouldn't take any action I wouldn't open a short position if we did break this, because we do have this major blue support level. I'd wait to see if we could break this major blue support level here. So that's what I'm looking at for Ethereum. Nothing too exciting on Ethereum, just pretty much following Bitcoin as of right now.
To be honest, I think I was going to say, I think with some of this, we are going to see, obviously, whatever happens to Bitcoin typically happens to Ethereum. Not recently because of the hype, naturally. But just bringing us back to the DXY there, I think part of the reason why we might see potentially a bit of a drop, or I should say a push up, maybe above this area of resistance, is just because of everything that's going on in Europe. Just like we said earlier, so we're going to be seeing a lot of uncertainty in the European markets. So people might be, or if you're an big international investor, you don't know if what the inflation is going to be like. You don't know what GDP is going to be like. You don't know what all of these different things. There's quite a lot coming out this week. So I think a lot of these people will be swapping out their euros in favor of the dollar, which potentially does have a there's definitely warrant in thinking that the dollar might push higher as a result of this. So definitely something to kind of be mindful of.
If we do see this dollar continue to increase and break this resistance, then we will most likely see another leg down for crypto. In the shorter term, obviously, because this is the 8-hour chart. So on the bigger time frames, it does look a little bit different. One thing I do want to mention as well, I did mention on Saturday that I was opening a trade on Link if we did get a rejection from this resistance level here, and that's exactly what happened. There was so many indications to me why this was going to be a good short position, and as of right now, it's playing out nicely. So if I just run through why I did open this short position quickly for you, and that is because we do have this resistance, this yellow resistance here. It was the previous high from back here. So that was one reason why I thought if we did get a rejection from this level, we were going to come down. Another reason why was because looking at the volume, again, this shows you what could happen for Bitcoin as well, because we are seeing this decrease in volume, meaning that the bulls are running out of steam. The bears are most likely going to take a bit of control, and that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing the bears push that price down because the bulls have run out of steam. That was two reasons why I did open this short position. Another reason why I opened up this short position was because we had this massive exaggerated bearish divergence on the RSI. So we had higher highs on the RSI, momentum towards the upside, and on the price action chart, we did have an equal double top here. So that's what we call an exaggerated bearish divergence, and that's seeing this pullback as well. Also, the RSI was above 70, so in that very overextended territory. So was a stochastic and the stochastic RSI. So a pullback was something that was pretty likely to happen. And as I said, it is very, very well. As of right now, it's in 31% profit, a little over 31% in a profit, as you can see here. It was in almost 35%, and I think it went over 35% in profit as well. So as you can see, this trade is doing very well, and I am looking to continue to hold this trade open all the way down to this very major support level down at this blue box here. But I am going to be taking profit at this red level here. I'll change that just to blue. This is another profit taking point for me. I'm going to have the $7.9 level as my first take profit point, and then my second take profit point at around $7.2 because this blue level here, this blue trend line, has been major resistance previously. So it is going to act as support if we do come back down and test it. And then, yeah, this blue box here has been major resistance, but also major support as well. So that's why I'm looking at the price getting supported there. And yeah, if we don't come down to this level, at least we've taken profit at the $7.9 level if we do come down to that level. And I do anticipate that we are going to come down to at least a 7.9, potentially all the way down to that $7.2 level, because the indicators have still not reset. So the stochastic RSI and the RSI, they have a lot more room towards the downside, which signals to me that we could see a lot more downside all the way down to these targets I have at 7.9 and 7.2, which would increase the win percentage on this trade a lot as well. This could potentially be over a 100% move, a 100% trade for us. So yeah, it's looking good right now, and I'm going to continue to hold this trade open.
There we go. And this is why you guys need to follow us. Make sure you hit the bell notifications, because this is where we give you all of the trades. We obviously, I know that we went through this, didn't we? And kind of mentioned, hey guys, look out for this. We're getting very close. We are getting very close. So if you guys follow us, obviously you're going to make sure that you're getting involved in these trades as well. And I mean, what, 30, how much was it? 31%.
It's at 31 right now. It was in 35%. But I am expecting, we're going to have a bit of volatility in that shorter term. But I do think we are going to see this trade play out very profitably.
Yeah, exactly. So make sure you do follow us. I know that we talk a lot and sometimes might joke around, but you can't really joke around about 30% in a couple of days, which is all right.
Well, in one day.
In one day. The news gets better. Guys. So what I do want to quickly do is just go through a little bit and kind of clear up what's been happening with Ethereum. I know that some of you guys have been, having looked at it technically, it looks like it's in a pretty good state. But obviously, we've got a month now, until we have the merge. And so everyone is now kind of talking about, okay, what's going to happen? And what some of you guys might have noticed, there was a guy or a girl, that there's a wallet, we'll call it a wallet, which from day one, it's an ICO wallet. You guys have probably heard about this all over the news kind of yesterday and today. So this is 2,000 days ago. It received Zimones to the tune of 150,000 Ether from this wallet here. Now, this wallet here, OBX, it's the Genesis. So from Genesis wallet, it went into here, and then from here went out into this wallet. So I don't know whose this is, but it's like this. It's like the OG wallet. This is why everyone's calling it an ICO wallet. Better name than OG, because it was from the initial coin offering, and it's pretty much been dormant until recently. This is why yesterday they started unloading about 15,000 ETH in. So this one is 10. This one has 15,000 ETH. This one has 15,000 ETH. You can see these three are the same. And then this one, 15. This one, 20, 20, 20. So just like an awful lot of. Hang on one sec. Was this? Okay, I thought I saw like a little pattern. But anyway, so there's so much Ethereum being moved from this wallet into these new wallets. The question then becomes, what is going on? And so, there's two areas of speculation here. I'll share you my thought. There's obviously a lot of people trying to get in on the hype, make themselves look good. Oh, look at me. This is my little Ethereum. because you can have like websites, like something.com. Everyone's now getting hyped about something.eth, Web 3.0 websites. But there's two kind of schools of thought here. It's either that people, they're moving this so that they can dump it onto the market, or in fact they are looking to stake it. AJ, just from your outsider standpoint, do you think it's going to be more they're getting it out onto the market so they can like dump it, or looking to stake it?
I don't, for me, the smarter reason, would be not to stake it, because we've got this merge coming up as well. So personally, for me, I wouldn't be staking it now. So I do think they might be dumping it. I don't know. It's hard to say, because personally, I wouldn't be staking any ETH. Well, looking any ETH away right now, because we're before the merge hasn't happened yet. I would like to, before I'm putting away this much money, I would rather wait for the merge to happen, then stake it, rather than doing it now. Because
that is very
imagine that. Yeah, imagine it goes to absolute crap. And
well, if you put it in something like Lido, for example, you're pretty much locked away for about 6 months anyway.
Yeah.
So maybe he's been and this is where like there is a lot of like question mark around this. I mean, obviously, if you guys know anything more, drop us down a comment and we'll read that and kind of find out. But you could either take it and you could stake it in something like Lido, for example, and then that you get an actual token staked Ethereum, but you're locked away for 6 months, 6 to 12 anyway. Or it might be that he's dumping it, or he might just be trying to become his own validator. So one thing that I think is obviously not really spoken about that much, which you could have done previously, but not many people do, is this is the only way you're going to be earning money from the Ethereum protocol, is through this proof of stake model, which obviously they're changing to. So you have to be a staker, and essentially loads of people who are staking, they are all under one guy called a validator, and so you can either do solo staking, staking as a service, or pooled staking. So pooled staking, nice and easy. You only need to put in like 0.000 or 0.01 ETH. But if you want to have your own solo staking or staking as a service, you have to put your 32 ETH in, and then there are like good things, bad things, about this. And I think this is something that we're going to see a lot more people looking at, how to become a validator, how to actually, join a staking pool. So there might be some coins out there. I think it's called like Rocket Pool. Here we go. So something like this, I believe, is going to be a project that will gain an awful lot of traction, because this allows you to like stake Ethereum. It's decentralized Ethereum staking protocol. So guys, things like this, I recommend you start looking into these projects, these protocols, where you can, kind of stake your ETH with them, whatever, you can get your rewards, etc., etc. So, looking through these projects could be very, very good ones to invest in, because people are now going to begin thinking, okay, how do I make money? I can't mine, so what am I going to do? And it doesn't seem like a bad idea to be staking. Even Buenos Aires, Argentina's capital, looking to deploy Ethereum validator nodes in 2023. And Ethereum validators, those are the ones that require 32 Ethereum. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I just also want to show a kind of what is for me quite surprising. Obviously, Bitcoin's number one, but not when you look at so this is Chicago Mercantile Exchange, CME. These guys do all like futures and stuff. So options on Bitcoin futures, and then you have Ethereum futures, Bitcoin futures, but you have micros. This is obviously you can get in at a lower price. But the volume on Ethereum futures is so much more, especially on the micros. This shows a lot of, either people dipping their toes in, or, almost retail investors. And then again, Bitcoin does have more than Ether on the normal ones, but not on the micro. But just look at this, how much open interest. There's a lot of people interested in these Ethereum futures. So it does give me some faith that, providing everything goes well in about a month's time, things will be, moving pretty sweetly, to be fair. And one other little bit of information I thought was kind of weird was Polonix being the largest, let me refresh, 1.91 billion 24 hours real volume versus Binance's 760. It seems a bit crazy that. It's like, well, it's like more than double, like 2.5 times the volume, which seems crazy. I don't know how many of you guys have heard about Polonix. I mean, I hadn't for
I've never
ages,
heard of
and
it.
then I came across it, and I was like, okay, I recognize this, but it's my good old friend Justin Sun. Yeah, love that noise. It's
Here
the
we
noise
go.
I make every day I wake up and I think about this guy. But the reason why I mention it is because Justin Sun's Polonix will support Ethereum's proof of work fork. And the reason why I'm showing you this, guys, is that this, for me anyway, is some kind of indicator. If there is a lot of volume on Polonix and this is supporting proof of work, then we might be having genuinely a lot of people, whether it's developers or miners, getting behind this whole proof of work fork, and we saw that the guy, I can't remember who it was, but it was, someone said, look, I forked Ethereum once, I'll fork it again. I know that sounds rude, but this was genuinely a tweet from him. I wish I could find it. I'll put it on Twitter later. But so obviously there was talk about having, look, Ethereum Classic that's the OG chain, and then that changed into Ethereum, and then that's going to fork again into Ethereum proof of work. But so far, proposed Ethereum proof of work fork token has lost half its market value in less than 6 days. We mentioned this last week, guys, because we were saying, look, you could buy a proof of work token for a chain that doesn't even exist. And it seems like now it's kind of got the better of it. But so statistics from CoinMarketCap indicate that Polonix list Ethereum work IOU markets. And it's just an IOU. So you're buying a token that might have, or that might have developers join the network and hasn't actually forked yet. But it's not there, so obviously it's going to go down in value. It just seemed like a bit of a hype, and I kind of wanted to bring that to your attention because, we might actually genuinely see proof of work kind of come back to life or, still have some success. But, I just don't know. If you hard fork it, you're going to end up with 2 of everything, but you can't do that for stable coins. So, USDC have said they're only going to work with Ethereum, the normal one, this Ethereum, not the proof of work hard fork. So I think I quickly see everything kind of going down the toilet for the proof of work fork. I don't know about you, if that's like, if you would agree. I need to quickly grab my charger. Bear with me one sec. So we can wrap it up unless you want to go through anything specifically Ethereum related.
I think no. I think I've said everything I want to say.
Yeah.
Just
okay.
Be aware of that support level on Ethereum. If we do break below that support level, then we could see a lot more downside for Ethereum, potentially all the way back down to that $1,000 level.
Yeah, I think guys, also just set up some alerts on whether it's TradingView or something like this, or just follow us. We can let you know. But if we do break below these key levels, out of these current trends, we're being squashed quite a lot in both Ethereum, in Bitcoin, and a lot of the other charts. So just be very careful. We are coming to those very close areas of support and resistance, and whenever that happens, it only goes one way, doesn't it, AJ? It's an explosion. Yeah. Depending on you're up or down.
Exactly. We break the resistance, we'll see a big explosion towards the upside. If we break this support, then we'll pretty much see a big dump towards, a horrible looking dump towards the upside. Depends how you want to look at it. For me, I look at it as great buying opportunities when we do see these big dumps. But of course, if you've been buying at these at this sort of $1,800 level, then you'll see it as a big loss. But yeah, dollar cost averaging as always. If we do break supports, I will be opening shorts and I will be showing you opening these short positions as well. But I'll also be dollar cost averaging into a HODL portfolio dollar cost averaging my HODL portfolio as well. Just trying to buy Ethereum below 1,500, 1,400 again. That'll be great. But yeah, just hopefully we can hold this support for the bullish case. But if not, as I said, I'll be showing you opening me these. I'll show you me opening these short positions, and hopefully riding them down to the take profit points.
There you go. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Follow us, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button if you haven't already. If you haven't, you know what's going to happen. AJ and his new trim are going to be coming to your house. I'm only joking. Anyway, guys, hopefully we can all make a little bit of money together. Subscribe to Twitter, and we will see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, guys.